That'll have a big impact.
I'm still an amateur.
Somebody else.
Just to have somebody come in and not even know the roads would be tricky. It makes sense. You know, they know every little cranny and every line. It's me, I think. It's me, I think.
Yeah. You make a mistake to take the guy who knows the business right.
Are you always coming through?
This gym I go to, they guys, one guy that knows it, so good, Assn, helped it. Oh. And they got something one employee makes it stays, but all of a sudden they get the new we're happy about that. That's a good thing. They have yours now. Killing them, you know?
Next year, Shane, I guess you put those in. Yeah, it was early, like April, right? No, it had to be.
I would say it's a little bit three there, two in the back of that one, three in the back of that one. He finds it wrong, so.
Well, yeah, I found the two that I guess the first two years.
They're all in like 12 to 16 foot wide.
Yeah.
Try to get to the center, but the thing is, continue to just keep kind of going, you know, they call it this conservation.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they call it this.
My brother,
I definitely when you're looking at the top of the piece,
my brother bought he just bought a small bass off.
oh yeah,
They're working. That's awesome.
yeah, I messed around. Yeah, I messed around with the band. We were, I mean, I'm have it.
What are they made out of?
PVC pipe, drain pipe. Make it like,
Oh, so they go in.
make a 5-foot cube and then crisscross it with a drain pipe, so it's like a giant push pipe. And then we fill the tubes with concrete, so the single row. Right now they're in the feed shade. Put a different style on the shade. Made a different kind the first time we tried it out. Not far from your house. There's maybe two. There's 2 out of the first point of the
Yep.
yeah. And there's some in that middle of that cove there. Right side. There's 10 total.
Cody was kind enough to take a picture.
Was that the map?
No, that's not. Remember we took it downstairs.
No. And we built them in the wintertime. Yeah, nice spring out. We're ready to take it. Once they get that road,
You let my outboard for I bought some of that stuff that's going to trash.
1, 2, 3. I'm going to call the meeting in order in a few minutes. And this is generally the point in the meeting, before I call it to order, that we announce that this is a private meeting and those that aren't property owner members would probably need to exit at this time. So with that, I'm going to probably give it a few more seconds and then we're going to call the meeting to order. Thank you.
Is the attorney a citizen?
Employees.
Mr. Weible, is that attorney a property owner? Is that a ruling of yours now?
Are you serious?
Would you please sit down?
No, I have a question. You said if you're not a property owner, to please exit.
Or an employee or under our pay.
Say again?
An employee under their pay.
We have employees here. Some of them may or may not be property owners. They're here because they are employees. He's also on our pay. We're paying him to be here. If that's all right with you, we'll get ahead with this meeting.
Well, I mean, if he's being paid, maybe he needs to be in front of the judge and give whatever report he's got. He's not a property owner.
There's a sign-up sheet up here. You want to come up here and sign your name?
I've already signed up.
You're signed up?
Yes, I am.
And your name would be?
John Corey.
John Corey, thank you. When it gets to that part of the program where you get to do it, then you can do it, okay?
Okay.
Okay. At 7:10, we're going to call this meeting to order. We'll call the roll. Weible present. Tilley. Hector is excused. Tilley.
Yes.
Kearns is excused. Mike Miller.
Here.
Cary Combs.
Here.
Also present, we have James Kreitler, our attorney, Cody Terre, and Debbie Weible will be recording the minutes. I would accept the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion.
They don't want to record the meeting, so I'm sorry. I have every right to be here.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying I'm having a hard time hearing.
I understand that, but this is what it's right now.
I'm calling for approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Carry.
Have a motion to approve the agenda as presented by Cary Combs. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mike Miller. those in favor of the agenda as presented? Aye. I'd like to call for a move to approve the minutes of September the 18th. I need a motion to approve those minutes as presented. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to approve those? The
I
minutes?
will make a motion.
Mr. Miller makes a motion. Do I have a second for that? Mr. Combs have a second. We're open for discussion. Discussion on the minutes of the 18th. Is there any discussion? I'll move to approve the minutes. Call a vote.
Aye.
Aye, Mr. Miller. Mr. Keithley.
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. Tilley.
I don't have those, so I'm going to, at this point, vote no. I don't have the minutes to
Tilley votes no.
know what we're approving.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Combs.
Aye.
Aye. I'm gonna say they passed 4-1. You'll hand them to me, Mike, I think you got them. You'll sign them. I'll move that we, approve the minutes of October the 7th. Motion to approve the minutes of October 7th, executive committee minutes. Everyone should have had these minutes that were sent out last week. And I believe you sent out a second notice today that they didn't have the agenda for the minutes that they were to advise you.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Miller makes a motion that we approve the minutes of October the 7th.
Second.
Mr. Combs seconds. Call the roll. Mr. Miller, aye. I vote aye. Mr. Keating.
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Combs, aye. Kelly, aye. Those minutes pass. We have approval of the minutes. The next item are the
My husband's in Virginia now, I don't listen, so no. Not for adventure, and it's called, I went uniform about this meeting. They don't want to record it straight. So I'm sorry, but this is the only way that I can find out what's going on, that I'm considering.
Okay, we have legal bills to present, from our attorneys for 1,000. Can you speak up, please? We have legal bills to approve, in the amount of, $1,725. This is, in reference to the case of Mike Tilley versus Gary Kearns and others. I need a motion to approve that bill. Could I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mike Miller moves the motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Combs seconds. Those in favor of paying the bill? Mr. Miller, aye. I vote aye. Gary Kearns? Mike Tilley?
Nay.
Nay.
You abstained? Did he say he
Okay, I have
abstained?
another bill for our
Did he say
attorneys.
he abstained?
The amount of $1,357. And this is a bill regarding corporate matters, and I would move a motion to pay that bill. I have a motion to pay that bill. Miller. Motion and a second. Any discussion on that bill? I'll move we pay the bill.
Aye.
You move the vote on that bill, okay. Mr. Miller, aye. I'll vote aye. Keithley? Aye. Mr. Tilley?
Nay.
No. Mr. Combs? Yeah, that passed. Okay. I need a motion now to authorize our attorneys to bill future bills in the matter of to monitor and advise the Property Owner Association of actions regarding the case of the Missouri Department of Natural Resources versus the Terre utility. I need a motion to authorize the attorneys to do that. Mr. Coleman moves the motion. Do I have a second?
We can't hear down here. What did you say?
I'm trying to move a motion to authorize our attorneys to monitor and advise the property owners regarding the case pending that happened earlier this week with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources versus the Terre Utilities Corporation. I have a motion and a second. I'm ready for discussion on that item.
Who made the motion?
Mr. Combs made the motion, and Mr. Keithley seconded the motion. I'm sorry, we have some distractions.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll go slow. We're open for discussion on the motion. Is there any discussion on that motion? I'll call the question. Those in favor? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Miller, yes. I vote yes. Mr. Keithley, yes. Mr. Combs, yes. We haven't abstained. Okay. We're moving on to, I need a motion to accept the polling. And the polling was done on the repair of the firehouse roof. Debbie, do you have the polling results of that?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to, the polling was to approve the $6,100 contract, or $6,200 contract, excuse me. We polled the board on October the 10th, and the polling was 6 for, and one person wasn't able to, didn't respond. So I would like to approve that polling.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Mr. Miller makes the motion, Mr. Keithley second. Discussion on the contract. Those in favor? Aye. All? It'd be I vote. This was a late, this is the part where we need to approve the Public Works truck bid. I think all of you have a copy of that bid. This is to authorize the Public Works to go ahead with the purchase of the truck that they had at our last executive meeting. We authorized the Public Works to go out for bids. Mr. Gillette got the bids, has returned them, and now we're asking for an approval to purchase the truck. Do I have a motion to approve the truck?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Combs moves to purchase the truck. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Keithley seconds. We're open for discussion on the truck purchase. Mr. Gillette's here to answer any of your questions if you have them.
There is an amendment to that body bid too. It's a hitch plate of $650, hitch plate receiver.
The total request then is for what is the total request?
Total after trade will be $61,834.
61,184.
61,834.
That's with the 650 added on.
Yes.
Okay, the motion is to approve the purchase of the truck for
$834.
$834. Any further discussion? I'll call the vote. Aye. 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 5-0. Buy the truck, Cody. Okay, we're going to start with the, there's one other item that came up late. I haven't been able to inform the board of it, but I think it's, would be acceptable. We had a chance to, we've had a chance to purchase a property at 340 Rue Chantilly, and this is in the mobile home court. I would like to get board authorization to allow Tammy to proceed with acquiring that property. We would put that property in our real estate, not for resale, but to hold on to. This property, we can acquire it for a write-off of $2,887 out of our accounts receivable, and it would have to be a charge to the bad debt accounts. The property is in arrears in that amount, $2,887. The property owner is willing to deed it back, and if we would write off the $2,887. I drove by it this afternoon. The property has some trash on it. I'm just estimating it'll probably take 20 man hours of labor to clean it up, to make it safe. And so I would entertain a motion to go ahead. Yes, it's in the mobile home park. I would entertain a motion to allow effect?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Keithley makes the motion to allow Tammy to proceed. Mr. Miller seconds. Is there any more discussion or anything that anybody has a question about regarding the property? Okay, no further discussion. I'll proceed to call the vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Nine.
Okay, we have 4. Mr. Combs votes no. Okay, we're to the committee reports. Now we're going to start with the finance report from Mr. Keithley.
What I would like to report is that we met Friday with the auditor, auditing the 2018 numbers. We will have a copy of that available for those that would like to have it. I would like to know in advance if you want a copy. It's in the process of being completed. We had just the draft that we reviewed on Friday, and the rest of it will be presented to the board later and available for our meeting next month. That's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Terry, the fire department report.
We had 18 calls last month. Nothing really significant, other than one house fire last month, so that's pretty much the report we have right now.
Okay, you may want to mention, we did approve the grant writer at our last meeting for the fire department. That was $1,500.
Yeah, the fire chief asked for approval for a grant writer to help him write grants, and for it was approved for a cost of $1,500. This person will help us write 4 different grants for various things for the fire department, and hopefully we can gain some grant money off of that. And hopefully we can get some award and some grants. We can write that number in, and it will be hopefully a good return for our money. We also approved the purchase of some air packs that needed updating and replaced for the fire department to the tune of a little over $28,000 for 4 air packs at that executive meeting as well.
Who's the grant writer?
I don't have his name right off the top of my head.
It's in the folder.
Excuse me.
It's in the
You want to
folder.
come up and sign up? We'll have a question and answer session later. Okay, moving on. Public Works, Gillette.
Okay.
Could you please go sit down?
Oh, you told me to sign up. Did you not? Did...
Sign up.
Okay. I'm coming up here to sign up, so. Can I have an ink pen?
We're out working. They've been spending most of their time working on asphalt patches right now. Trying to button up as many asphalt patches as we can before.
We have at the end of the program, we also let you sign up there too.
Currently switched over,
Okay.
trying to focus on our
Thank you.
gravel roads right now. Gonna spend the next couple months putting out some gravel, doing a lot of grading. For those of you who don't know, we got 30 miles of asphalt road, but we've got 70 miles of gravel. So, we get that moisture when we try to grade the gravel road so it packs in nice. We did get our stock for our annual salt. Got a full 100 ton. It's been delivered and stocked. The Terre Garden Club, they got the plants in at the front roundabout project, them and their volunteers. I think it looks fantastic. The last piece of the puzzle is the landscaping rock. They did get a drip system donated, I believe, from Mineral Area College to help water it. So look for that to be completed here pretty soon. It looks nice. Coming up, we got a couple cross culverts that we're going to replace. Like I said, back on the gravel. We did do some improvements to the Plat 5, the mobile home area, mailbox area, just to that facility. It was in dire need. So permits, as of today, we're at 167 permits for the year and 64 property violations.
You might want to cover all of the capital requests that we did at the last meeting. But
Oh, yeah, so another capital request item was an enclosed cargo trailer.
That's gonna be, and it was approved as 5,800. That's gonna help cut down on labor costs as far as loading and unloading tools every day. We can just keep them in the trailer, hook up to it, take off to the job site. What was the other? There's another one. The truck. I think that's it. Oh, the roof. The roof of the firehouse. Firehouse 2 is in dire need of a roof. We had 3 bids back earlier this year. With everything going on, that kind of fell through the cracks. The first bid, they wanted money up front. We didn't feel comfortable with that, so we went with the second bid, and that's who we're going with, and we've got that lined up. So, a few improvements, some road work, some beautification projects, so a little bit of everything.
Did you look up how many remediation permits we've done so far?
36 as of today.
36 remediation.
36 as of today, and I'm seeing a lot of those permits come in. They close excavation, I believe, November 25th, 26th. That doesn't mean they stop. That means they won't open up any more yards until the following March. They'll button up what they've got opened up, and then they'll do driveways in that same time frame. So if somebody's got a driveway that tests, then they'll do that. But I see a lot of them coming in right now because I think they're trying to get them opened up before their deadline. So, but we're at 36 permits right now.
Thank you. Police report, Mr. Miller.
The police had 251 calls for service. They initiated 87 traffic stops for the month. They had 9 arrests, and they logged 64 hours of professional development.
That's more than what he did.
We did a capital expenditure for a new police vehicle, trading in the 2013 Dodge last week.
Right, and that capital request came in at, I thought, 21.5? 21.5 for that capital request. Those capital requests, we had a pretty productive meeting, our last meeting. We're able to do a lot of things that we had been delayed and so it was a very productive, I thought, meeting for that meeting. Okay, you might also mention now about Mr. Cook has a broken foot.
Broken foot. He's in a boot. He's on the mend.
He's on the mend, so we hope to get him back quickly. Fall Festival, Tracy.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to touch base on our fall festival we've had this year. We had a total of 63 vendors. I want to thank everybody that came out, everybody that worked, everybody that participated. The country club did a great job. They raised $1,000 for them. We raised $400 in our 50/50, and we spent a total of $2,722.83 after we took in vendor money from what we spent. And we had a budget of $5,000, so we did good.
And Mr. Hoffey, do you have a nominating committee report?
Yes, the nominating committee for the upcoming board elections met on October the 11th. I was elected to be the chairman of the committee. At that meeting, we reviewed the requirements according to the bylaws on what this committee was to do and how we were going about doing it. We polled the members there. 2 of the members did not have a candidate yet to post, so we are going to meet on the 22nd, October 22nd, and we should have a full complement of candidates for this and turn over to the board.
Are there any other committee reports that we need to receive at this time? Okay, Mr. James Kreitler is here and is going to share with us some information.
Are you getting your motion to accept the reports?
Oh, I'm sorry. I would entertain a motion to accept the committee reports as presented.
I'll make it.
Mr. Miller, second. Mr. Combs, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Sorry, thank you. Okay, now, James.
Good evening. My name is James Kreitler. I was here at the last meeting, and I'm here to give just kind of a general litigation update with respect to the association. On October 3rd, just previously here, there was another hearing scheduled in the case, and I alluded to the last time that I was here. At that point in time, there was a hearing held on the motion for sanctions that was previously filed before we were ever involved in the case. It was not our motion, but it was a motion from one party, Mr. Combs and Mr. Keithley, directed to Mr. Reitner and Mr. Tilley. That was heard and that was taken under advisement by the judge. There's also multiple motions to dismiss that were argued, and Judge Inman also took those under what's called advisement, which means he's going to look over everything and then issue his order at a later date. They did set a control date for the case, which means they just don't want the case to kind of just float under the radar. The judge does want to know what's going on. So they set a control date of December 16th, 2019, there at the St. Francis County Courthouse for further updates on the case. Another amended petition was allowed to be filed by Mr. Tilley's attorney to correctly place the Property Owners Association in the case caption as required by court rules. And they have 30 days to do that, so they have until approximately November 3rd or November 4th to do that, and that has not been filed yet. So at this point in time, that's where that litigation stands. The judge has all the motions he's taken under advisement, and will then issue his ruling accordingly later on at that time. Generally what happens in any case, though, if the motions to dismiss are denied by the judge, the case will continue through what's called discovery, in which the parties can ask each other questions. People's depositions will be taken, and then other motions may be heard later on at that time. So that's all I have to give in regard to an update with respect to that case. The what I'll call the federal court case in regard to the police department, that's at a standstill. There's nothing new to report in regard to that litigation at this time. And then obviously tonight we were just commissioned to look into this lawsuit with respect to the utility company, and we'll probably give a report at the next general meeting at that time. The Property Owners Association also was presented at the last executive session meeting with 2 bills for Mr. Keithley for his attorney's fees. And at this time, we were looking into whether or not those fees should be paid by the association, as he is a board member. There is an indemnity clause in the bylaws that is being discussed, and there's some ethics rules that we're looking into as to whether or not those should be paid by the Property Owners Association.
That we adjourn our regular session business meeting. Mr. Miller moves. Don't second. Those in favor? 5-0. We are now adjourned. We're going to take just a second here to rearrange some things. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Mr. Pullen, Matt Pullen, first.
In the past, has the nominating committee been elected at an open meeting in the past? And if so, why was it not done that way?
Friday else?
We have to do it executive because the 15th deadline is on
Is that all your questions? Okay, thank you. Ms. Helen Scott, you're next.
I have two issues that I want to bring up. The first one is, and it happened again tonight, Mr. Keithley, you're the treasurer, but you didn't give a treasurer's report. You didn't give one last month, that nobody you gave one the month before. Can you explain why?
There's a microphone up here, Helen.
As I said, tonight, there was no treasurer's report. There was no treasurer's report given by Mr. Keithley last month, and I don't think there was one given by Mr. Keithley the month before. He is the treasurer. Why is he not giving the treasurer's report?
Okay, thank you, Helen. I think I can maybe answer that for Mr. Keithley.
Can't Mr. Keithley answer it himself?
He asked me to answer it. Would you accept that answer?
No, I want to hear it from Mr. Keithley. He's the treasurer, not you.
In order to answer that, I have to have been on the board as treasurer, and I was in the middle of August. I did not have a full month. In September, I still have not received the statements from the bank. I cannot verify something that has been there that has not been delivered. I've asked for copies. They're supposed to mail them to me. They have not.
But Mr. Weible gave a treasurer's report. You didn't.
There was a report in our financial package with the title Treasurer's Report in it. When we approved the financials for the association, we approved the 3 statements from the top system. The balance sheet, the income statement, and the cash flow report. The treasurer's report was included there as an information item. Mr. Keithley came in and examined it, found a $100,000 mistake on it, and so I think that was corrected, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was corrected. So it's there in the files. The board members have it.
That's not the question. The question is, why didn't he give the treasurer's report? It's a simple question. He's the treasurer.
Well, Helen, I've told you, but you do not seem to accept that. I do not have the financials in an area that I can complete review. The checks at the bank have not been delivered. The bank statements I have yet to receive. I did not receive them last month until after the public meeting.
So
I still did not receive them today.
You have not received the September bills yet?
That is correct. I have not received the statement from the bank of the bills that were paid. Until I start getting the documents from the bank, it's almost impossible to try to tell you. Now, I can tell you what was spent last month on this top statement. We spent some $40,000 in bills.
I don't need a
Can I bring
detail.
them?
I was just wanting to know why you haven't been.
Because I cannot get the bank statements.
Well, is that really hard to tell people that we don't have bank statements yet?
Well, I had to go to the bank in August to get them. I had to go to the bank in August to get July. I'm going to have to do the same thing again to get September.
Okay.
I still do not have them.
Okay, but that can be presented to the public here to say that you haven't received them yet. It's not that, it's just that it's ignored.
The board approved the financials, so, and we're in very good financial.
You approved the financials, but you don't have the check?
I think the question's been asked and answered.
Okay, fine, that's fine. Let me go on to my next one. Last month, apparently there was an error in the minutes, and a paragraph had to be removed. I've tried to find out what that was, and the best I could come out with is that there was an employee where the information was presented was not correct.
Okay.
There was an error on the minutes. There was a big discussion and that.
Which minutes are you referring to?
The minutes from, I believe it was September. You had to approve the
We had a
minutes at
couple
the board.
meetings in September, could you be more specific?
Yeah, the minutes that you guys had to approve. When you have a board meeting, you review the minutes and then you approve them. Is that
And
correct?
the minutes have a date on them, so if you know which one of us said something, why don't you know what date it is?
Ellen, it was a syntax problem, it was a wording problem, we had to get straightened out.
What was the problem? Do you mind telling me that?
I do, because it's a personnel related issue.
Okay, that's my concern. Was it detrimental to what was printed detrimental to the employee?
I don't think so, but it wasn't the way the motion was originally worded, so,
So it was pulled.
yes.
I guess my question is that when I was treasurer, Mr. Weible, you went over the minutes or the financials with a fine-tooth comb at every meeting. And it took sometimes like 15 to 20 minutes. So I know you did your homework. Why didn't you catch that error?
I don't even know what area you're talking about.
That answers a lot. Thank you.
I try to catch them, but I don't know. Jenny Albertson?
I would like to know a legitimate reason why you guys will not allow recording and posting to a private group that is only for property owners.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I would like to know why you guys will not allow recording and posting to a private group for property owners for those who cannot attend due to young children, elderly, disabled, and people out of town.
Why we don't allow?
Recording and posting. The Terre info and news one is hard, but you guys can make one.
Well, personally, I would say, we try to conduct meetings where people can hear and try to conduct them in a businesslike manner. And it's for property owners only. And then that's all I can tell you.
Okay.
We're not in business to promote any social media or bloggers that like to be bloggers or whatever they do.
I
Bloggers
don't care
do.
about bloggers or anything. I care about getting information. But if you guys don't want to record, I'll just keep bringing my kids. Because I have nobody to watch my kids, and my husband is gone in the active duty military. So for us to be informed, the best thing is to record it and stream it in a private group or some kind of private social media that other property owners, I agree with you, can't see it.
That's very personal. And thank your husband for his service.
So.
Thank your husband for his service.
I didn't want this to happen at a meeting. I want you all to be able to hear what was going on. But for me to be able to get information for myself, this was the only choice that you guys gave me.
Well, he got streaming on property, so now he's streaming.
Thank you for that. But, I mean, I don't understand what the problem is because I lived on a military base that did the same thing. They stream their town hall meetings. And a military base is a lot more stricter on what you can post. So I really don't understand what the problem is.
Thank you for your comments.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
So thank you for your comments.
So can it be taken into consideration?
She wants to know if these meetings can be streamed for privacy, for people that can't attend the meetings.
Makes sense.
When you take that into consideration, our church does it on Sundays.
Okay, we'll take it under consideration. John Corey, you get to talk now.
Well, I'll readdress my questions earlier. I went through the rules and bylaws and I could not find anything in there that said that a person couldn't have a guest here at the association meeting. You obviously made a rule last month that says for association members only. I will argue that. But then why are you allowing people to be in here who are not property owners? And some of those are gonna be employees. Now, I happen to know that Cody is a property owner, no problem there. The employees that are not property owners can give their information to somebody on the board, and a board member can tell us what's going on, so that that non-property owner is not in here hearing all our financials. And the attorney is not a property owner. He could have given you all something in writing to tell us what's going on against Tilley and everything. I'll end it there. My other thing that I want to bring up is, the board has had plenty of time since notice from the country club that there will be a $300 a month charge to use this pavilion. You've had time to digest that. What are you going to try to negotiate that down? Or the annual mowing that's done down by that reservoir, and then the snow plowing? Are we gonna discontinue that?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Okay.
Who said that?
I did. I got the answer, and yes, they are. Discontinuing the mowing and.
He wants to know who you are, Maureen.
I'm a country club person. When I worked there,
I'm sorry?
they discontinue the mowing and they discontinue the snow plow. That's our answer.
Since they're gonna charge, do we have to pay?
How can you stand there and say the association cannot have an attorney set up here that doesn't own property? I mean, that's ridiculous. So
No, it's not ridiculous.
it's ridiculous.
If he's not.
Okay, let's, Mr. Corey, did we answer your questions to?
Well,
If you had, not quite, okay. At the beginning of the last two meetings, I've asked people to, if they're not property owners, to leave. And so far, we haven't had any incident, and I think that most people that aren't property owners have left. So, okay, I think we're all right on that. And Doreen gave us an answer from the country club, so I think we're all right on that.
My question is about do we pay $300 a month or $300 each time we use it?
$300 each time we use it.
Then, that gets pretty expensive.
Yes,
over
it does.
A year.
Right.
Could we maybe look at bi-monthly meetings? Is there anything in the bylaws that says they can't have bi-monthly, so we can cut that cost in half?
We'll look into it, okay?
All right.
Rick Whitmire. Okay, Mr. Whitmire.
Question is, has the secretary produced all the minutes from the beginning of 2019? I said that the secretary produced all the minutes from the beginning of 2019? Are they available?
I don't know. There were.
And as far as
You're probably aware that there's some minutes that are missing, so it's written up in our audit report. Yeah, I don't know exactly what dates the minutes were. There's several months that the minutes are missing, yes.
as far as this attorney, how much is it costing us per hour?
I believe the billing rate is $230 per hour. That question came up earlier. Okay, Mr. Jesse James.
Just wanted to know who the grant writer was.
Kurt Brett.
What's the question?
I can't hear you.
I just wanted to know who the grant writer was for the fire departments.
And the answer was Kurt Brett. And he has an extensive resume.
Right.
You can find him online. Google his name.
Okay, that is all the people that we have signed up for this meeting. Thank you for your attendance and.
Can I ask a question? I didn't sign up because I didn't have the question until the question started. So can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why, in today's age, with computers, can Mr. Keithley not go online to the bank, do online banking, and print off our bank statements?
Because I don't want it online, I want a hard copy.
Okay,
So
but
I
you
review
can
the
print them,
signature.
so you have a hard copy.
I do not.
But you can.
Do that.
I'm sorry I took that last one.
Why are you sorry? It was
It's a legit question.
Thank you for your attendance tonight, folks.